미 합중국 대통령은 이에 예를 표시하면서 조미 사이에 선의의 대화가 진행되는 동안 조선 측이 도발로 간주하는 미국 남조선 합동군사연습을 중지하며 조선민주주의인민공화국에 대한 안전 담보를 제공하고 대화와 협상을 통한 관계 개선이 진척되는 데 따라 대조선 제재를 해제할 수 있다는 의향을 표명했습니다. 미하는 최고 용도자 동지께서는 트럼프 대통령이 편리한 시기
There is, of course, a strong case for action. Passenger cars make up almost 10% of Australia's CO2 emissions, so serious action on climate change does involve serious action on transport emissions. Almost 10% of Australia's CO2 emissions.
How much carbon dioxide is in the atmosphere?
I'm not a scientist. I don't know. I'm a
Well, hang on. If you're going to argue the case, you ought to know it's 0.04%. And of that 0.04%, human beings around the world create 3%. And of that 3%, Australia creates 1.3%. So for the 1.3% of 3% of 0.04%, we then decide to have a national economic suicide.
Passenger cars make up almost 10% of Australia's CO2 emissions, so serious action on climate change does involve serious action on transport emissions. And as we all know, we're experiencing significant cost of living challenges. And giving Australians better options, more access to cars which will never oblige them to lift a nozzle at a petrol station ever again is very good policy as well.
Yesterday I tried this and it said to wait for the battery to warm up. I have had the car running with the climate control. I tried to charge at my house. It won't let me. So there is no way to charge this battery or let it warm up in the cold. So I'm going to try this. I'm going to show you. This is the message I get. Battery is heating. Keep charge cable inserted. Okay. It's 1:11. 1 hour later. Battery is heating. Keep charge cable inserted. 19 miles. 3:03. Almost 2 hours later. Battery is heating. 19 miles. And it's Christmas Eve.
A very good cost of living measure. In 2019, the Australian Electric Vehicle Association estimated that there would be an annual average saving of $500 in fuel and $100 in maintenance costs for every electric car in the national fleet. I reckon those figures may have gone up since 2019. And UBS estimates point to projected consumer savings of $1,700 per annum by 2030 on the total cost of ownership of an electric vehicle versus internal combustion engines.
What's the price of a replacement battery for an electric car?
Well, it's not cheap. I actually only got a response from 2 manufacturers out of 10, and the response from one of them, which was Lexus, was $47,000. Thank you very much.
$47,000 for a replacement battery. Why wouldn't the other car companies tell you?
Well, probably because theirs probably cost, around about the same price.
Well, from these prices, $47,000, that's essentially, for many people, would be a write-off of the car once the battery runs out. Now, just last week, we saw one problem with batteries. The new electric ferry bought for Wellington in New Zealand for about 3 times the price of a diesel one. Got to save the planet. It ran flat, and the ferry had to be towed back for recharging, which takes about an hour and a half between trips. You can't actually, just drop some fuel on the stranded ferry to, keep it going either. You have to tow it back, which is much the same with electric cars, by the way, that run out of juice on the highway. I don't know if Chris Bonis thought all these things through.
And giving Australians better options, more access to cars which will never oblige them to lift a nozzle at a petrol station ever again is very good policy as well.
This is the line to charge your Tesla. It's a half a mile long.
As soon as you have gas. Still waiting?
Minister please explain to the Australian people and what net zero emissions actually means in layman's terms?
Thank you, Senator Hanson. Minister.
I'm not sure how to explain it other than to say it means net zero. There's I mean, I think, and I understand that the senator. It's one of those situations. I'll think through if I can provide an explanation to make it clearer than that. But to me, the words net zero are quite clear. I think we all understand what net emissions means. I am reminded of a time when I was Climate Minister and I think Senator Fielding wanted an explanation, and I got in the Chief Scientist to try and take him through it, and we did get to a point where I thought, I don't actually know, and neither did she at that time, how to break it down any further, but I will have a think about that. I think it's a commonly understood objective, and it's an objective that, as the Senator knows, that is shared by those opposite, I thought. Maybe not. Well, obviously not Senator Canavan, I know that, but the coalition, I thought broadly, had agreed to net zero emissions by 2050, and